Stop trying to be liked by women. You trying to make it work with women. You trying to impress. That's part of the reason why the women you actually want don't like you. Obviously, on the one hand, you want to be liked by women, of course, but you're already a socially calibrated member of society. You got a good job, you're doing well in your business. Calibration in general isn't your problem. Being respectful, you got that down, but you're still focused on being liked. And ultimately, thereby, you're focusing on something that you can't control. And the more you focus on something that you can't control, the more that's going to produce stress and anxiety within you, and the more you lack authenticity. And the more you lack authenticity, the less you'll be polarizing in your communication, which will attract the right ones and repel the wrong ones. You have to understand that obviously you will always have a part in you that wants to be liked by women and the people around you. That is completely normal. To want to be liked, you have a tribal brain. I've explained that at length in other videos. Our brain is hundreds of thousands of years old, and it was shaped into its current form while we had people around us 24/7. And we realized that if we acted too far outside of the societally or tribally agreed upon norms, that we'd be sent straight into exile. You'd get kicked out. And then you'd lose your opportunity to pass on your genes to female members of the tribe. You'd lose other men to go hunt with, other men to protect you from other tribes and animals. So either you die, or at the very least, your genetic legacy dies. That's why you care about what other people think. That's why you want to be liked. And there's inherently nothing wrong with that. It only becomes a problem when you start sacrificing authenticity to be liked by the wrong people. Ooh, that was a good one, huh? Let me say that again. You begin to sacrifice authenticity because you're trying to be liked by the wrong people. You're trying to impress people who aren't right for you anyway. Other men and the wrong women. So how can you fix this? Start saying what you actually believe. Become radically honest, unfiltered, unapologetic, unashamed in your self-expression. Now, there are some people in the world who need to become more calibrated, who need to become more respectful, obviously. But that's not you. You got the kind part, the calibrated part down. You are boring. You're very logical in your communication with women. That's why you get messages saying, I didn't really feel the spark. Or for whatever reason, there seem to be no second or third dates with the ones you actually like. The ones that you don't want that much that are all right, either physically speaking or personalities and values-wise, those want to see you again, but not the ones that you actually can picture a future with. So what I would recommend is you stop portraying a false image. You're fake even though you're not even realizing you're fake. And it's not your intention to be fake. It's not your intention to lie to women. Absolutely not. But it is happening, and it's turning the right ones off. So you have a habit formed of having an impulse arise in your consciousness. You think, oh, I could say this, and then you suppress it. Probably wouldn't be appropriate. I wonder what she would think of XYZ. I wonder if she'd approve, or she probably wouldn't. Couldn't possibly say this. Trust me, if your intention is win-win, if you want her to have a great time, if your intention is not selfish, not ego-based, then you can say really wild and silly things, and women love it. Trust me, I've said really fun, silly, playful, outrageous things, and girls love it. You need to become way more emotionally impactful in your communication. Part of that is the skill set of storytelling, which you need to learn. Part of that is a little bit of wit. Doesn't mean you have to be mega funny, but a little bit of wit. And it's being unashamed and unapologetic and saying the things most people wouldn't dare to say. And here's the beautiful thing. Most women go on dates with men that are so boring, even really good-looking and successful guys. Boring as hell. So if you can be a little bit entertaining without trying to be, okay? You're just free in your expression. You're just self-amusing. But as a result of that, you become entertaining. If you can do a little bit of that, you're already standing out. The standard for dating these days is so unbelievably low. It is so low. You can stand out so easily as a man by having a good Hinge profile, a little bit of an Instagram, and somewhat of a decent approachability. Just the fact that you actually introduce yourself in person, that alone already separates you. It is an old habit within you to try to get along with people, to try to make it work, to not offend people. The problem is, thereby you're gaining width and you're sacrificing depth. But all of life's joy is in the depth. And guess what? You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Every truth is but a half truth. Of course you can. You need to be effective in your communication. But if your values are aligned, if you say, I love XYZ, I hate XYZ, I bet you XYZ, the right person will really like it, because we don't just bond over the things that we agree on, or rather the things that we like, but we also bond over the things that we dislike and that we stand against. Having values means standing against something as much as it means standing for something. So if you say, I hate these vapes, and she hates vapes, great. Now you're aligned. If you're a Christian, for example, if you're Catholic, then you can bond over that. If you say, I love XYZ, and she loves the same thing, great, amazing. Express your values unapologetically. The way you make the first date entertaining and emotionally impactful is not by asking her a bunch of questions. Yes, questions are obviously part of the game. It's a conversation. You're going to show genuine interest in her. But it is also by telling stories and clearly expressing what you stand for in this world as a man and what you stand against. And you have so many interesting stories that you could communicate in a really compelling fashion, but you don't. You're very sequential in your storytelling. I woke up, I went to the gym, I had a smoothie, I did a little bit of work, met my friend John, we had a cigar, or we did rock climbing, and then we went to sleep. Wow, that was compelling. Boring. She's bored. Not by who you are, but by how you communicate yourself. So I would invite you to start establishing a new pattern, which is twofold. One, use everyday interactions or everyday opportunities with people to practice your storytelling and learn the fundamentals. We can help you with that if you want to. And also, start saying what you actually believe, even if it's going to cause friction on the front end. Jordan Peterson says, conflict delayed is conflict multiplied. Let me say that again. Conflict delayed is conflict multiplied. You're going to have the conflict. You'd rather have it within the first 4 minutes of the conversation or within the first hour on the date, as opposed to 3 months, 6 months in. The reason it ended with this one lady 3 months, 6 months, a year and a half in, is because, in part, you weren't radically honest in your communication. And thereby, you're attracting the wrong women. First of all, attracting just means you take certain actions and then you meet that person and you keep meeting each other and you didn't do anything to push her away, even though you shouldn't have done it. You're not a magnet. Your actions, which means how you communicate and what you say, the content of your words, dictates whether certain people will want to be around you or not. Now, that obviously only works if it's a genuine expression of who you are. You can only fake shit for so long. So the more radically honest you can be in your communication, the higher the probability that she'll want to stick around you. But you need to be okay with creating what's in marketing called the disqualification funnel. Same what I'm doing with my coaching. I don't want the wrong people in there. I make it abundantly clear who I want to work with, who I don't want to work with. Who do I want to work with? Men who are kind, men who are doing well in their career or business, for the very simple, not because I think that money plays any role in dating. It really doesn't. As you realize, it's only so they can afford the coaching because it's pretty expensive. That's the only reason. I want to help people for free. And the way I help people for free is by having made thousands of videos for free over the years that people can watch. And then if they want one-on-one help or group coaching, one-on-one coaching, apply for a free initial consultation. We'll figure out whether it makes sense for you or not. But I make it abundantly clear. I want to work with men who are kind, who are intelligent, who don't have an ego, who are willing to learn, who got their shit together. Because I know for a fact that I can make a man like that successful in terms of helping him find an amazing relationship. I've done it over and over again. Watch some of the client testimonials on my website. And the best client testimonials I can't even share, most of them for privacy's sake. Okay, most of them I can't even share. But we have some of guys who are willing to talk about it publicly, which is amazing. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of, but some people just value privacy. So I've done this over and over again because I only want to work with people that I know I can make successful. Help them get more quality dates, keep the right women interested, remove the blind spots in their communication. But I don't want to work with men who have an ego, who think they already know better, who aren't willing to take action, who don't want to do dating apps, who aren't willing to go on one date a week, who just want to hook up. No, that's not my target audience, and I make that abundantly clear. Those are not the people I want to work with. Or people who, whatever, don't believe in freedom of speech, for example, or certain values, right? I don't need to over-communicate my values, but there's certain values that I want to make clear enough that I resonate. That's why I have so many friends who used to be clients. I have an unbelievable global network of people who, not all obviously, but a lot of clients eventually became friends. Why? Because we disqualified so strongly on the front end. And that's exactly what you should be doing in your dating life. Don't think about it as how many women can I get? No, how many of the wrong people can I keep out? My team is doing a fantastic job of, there's a lot of people who apply for a free initial consultation. And most of them are filtered out for various different reasons. And so that leaves us with people who are unbelievable. And it's really cool. Right? It is pretty amazing to be able to work with these people. And I'm not saying that from a place of fake humility, because it's also an honor. I mean, as much as it is an honor for me to work with my clients, it's also an honor for them to work with me. It's on eye level, very much so, because I am by far the best in the world at this. Any problem that could possibly come up with dating apps, in anything that stops you from finding the right girlfriend or wife has been solved hundreds of times by me and my team. So that's how I communicate it. And then the people who like that, they then apply for a free initial consultation, and then we figure out whether or not that makes sense. But you still approach dating from a scarce perspective. You have scarcity of quality options. And that's why you're trying to let everybody through. You date women you shouldn't be dating. You entertain women for a second date that you shouldn't be entertaining for a second date. You don't cut first dates when you should be cutting it. I've had first dates where I shook hands and walked away after 5 minutes. It doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened. And you can do so very respectfully. But grinding it out because you think you're being respectful, wasting another hour and a half of your time and hers, is not respectful. If you already know that this isn't going to go anywhere, let her go and, understand the opportunity cost associated with you wasting an hour and a half of your time on a date with a woman who either doesn't have the same values as you, your personalities aren't aligned, or physically, it's not what you're looking for. Level up. Start saying what you actually want. If you really, radically, honestly express what you truly believe, your most controversial, your most politically incorrect opinions that are a reflection of your values that you cherish deeply, you will only ever lose the wrong people, and the right ones will love you for it. Most men communicate like lukewarm water, and they have friendships with other men that are lukewarm. They have relationships with women that are lukewarm. You never even give her a chance to develop 10 out of 10 level desirability for you. You don't even give her that chance. My invitation for you is to train a new habit of embracing friction and a little bit of tension. Because, by the way, if you're not coming from a place of ego, then it's a beautiful thing. And even if you realize you're not compatible, you don't have to be disrespectful. You can respectfully part ways. You saying what you truly believe, yes, it's partially for entertainment's sake. It's partially for your own freedom of expression, so you can get into a level of flow. But it's also doing her a favor of her getting to know the real you quicker. Radical honesty, raw authenticity. And you think you are? You're not even close. You have no idea, trust me, you have no idea, zero, of what that actually looks like in a conversation. If you're truly free, you can say wild things and women will love it. And they love it. No, but she's an educated woman with a master's degree from Cambridge or from Chicago University of Finance. You wouldn't laugh about a joke like that. You have no idea. Just because you portray this fake image of being all professional, that doesn't mean that she believes it. And that's not what people resonate with. At your core, you're somebody who's extremely interesting. You are. And this is not about turning you into somebody you're not. But Michelangelo, he saw the David, in the marble, the David, he just carved away what didn't belong. Remove the filters. Understand that you have been socially conditioned in a myriad of different ways. And a lot of that was helpful, and some of that is no longer helpful. Let go of what doesn't serve you any longer. It's now the 25th today. What is it? Christmas, as we're here, Fernando and I, we're filming this. I'm filming it and getting support from the bed over there.
Well done. Very proud of you.
Thank you. That's what you want to hear. Look, you have a couple of days left until the new year. How much longer do you want to stay alone? How much longer do you want to keep dating the wrong women? If you want me to help you personally, if you're a man who's doing well in your career, your business, you're taking care of your body, you got most areas handled, but the last missing piece of the puzzle is a fulfilling relationship to the right woman, click the link underneath this video and apply for a free initial consultation, and my team is going to reach out to you. Looking forward to speaking with you soon. Merry Christmas.